Okay, so it seems like there's been an update to the whole Stellar Blade situation, and it isn't looking very good because essentially what has happened is Stellar Blade is being targeted once again by some familiar kind of people, well, not familiar people, but in a familiar way to how we saw with things like Collective Shout. If you guys don't remember, Collective Shout essentially were still are a group of people who were actively trying to get, NSFW games and stuff taken down and using methods like contacting payment processors to stop them, right? And to kind of force these companies into, being taken off of platforms and things like that, which of course, is absolutely terrible because these are all games that should exist on these platforms. And these are all games that should not be, subject to pressure through payment processors, right? I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they even used a method like that in the first place. But it seems like the same thing could be happening to these, the new Stellar Blade Bloodrain. As we know, it's gotten quite a lot of backlash over the main character, Evie, and mainly it has just been people on Twitter just, getting a little bit angry about it, right? That's essentially been the kind of whole, breadth of that drama. People are just being, not happy with the character design, and many people have been clowning on these people because, it's a good character design, right? Pretty much these people don't want a character to look good in a video game, and they're going to get mad about it, right? But yeah, of course, now it's gone one step further with these people apparently reporting, this game or Stellar Blade to payment processors. So they're saying some Stellar Blade fans have spotted that some users on Reset Era, which is a gaming forum, and other groups are reporting the game to payment companies like Visa and Mastercard. They want to boycott the game, especially after Shift Up will reveal more outfits and content for the game that they think the protagonist is too young. They started by banning discussion of the game altogether. Now users there claim to be reporting it regularly. So yeah, here's one of the screenshots that's been floating around saying, I reported this game to Visa and Mastercard, so hopefully major retailers and digital storefronts won't be allowed to sell it. And that's how essentially it works, right? They report it, and then obviously, a lot of the storefronts to sell it, for example, like Steam or whatever, won't be able to put it up on their page because, Visa and Mastercard restrict them from doing so, which of course is absolutely terrible. And again, there has apparently been some updates as well, saying the person who suggested reporting it was actually banned on Reset Era. Here is some of the things here saying, banned is from Drunk Truck Driver, apparently. I reported this game to Visa and Mastercard. Obviously, we saw that. And then obviously some people have, responded to it saying, are we dead ass right now? Seriously, you want to run to the payment handlers to censor a studio? I get that everyone here doesn't like a design. That's obviously fine. But running to the payment handlers to try and censor the game is a cheap move. If you do it with one game, you have to do it to every game that breaks that TOS. So go report GTA 6 as well. Go report Cyberpunk or The Witcher. Yes, the character design is divisive. To me, she looks like 20-ish-year-old Asian girl, but I understand why people think she looks younger. But come on, reporting them to a payment handler is just ridiculous. And, even some people there, they don't exactly like the character design or whatever, but it seems like, they're saying like, hey, although I dislike the character, it's a bit far to report it to payment processors and stuff like this, right? Because it is too far, right? Then before anyone engages, check them on post count. So yeah, apparently they don't have many posts apart from they have one post, which is this one, and they've been reported as a troll account. But the thing is as well, it could be a troll account, but there is also, if they are trolling, they surely have some kind of agenda against Stellar Blade or whatever, which makes me think they might have actually tried to do that, right? But say, I just look like most places, I'm not going to argue or bad faith over here. You give me a solid explanation why this game in particular and not every other gacha game, blank game, or Steam, or anything is done to be reported by Visa MasterCard, I'll take it. But to me, this just looks like a move, and we would be livid if this had been done to other games by Twitter freaks because they didn't agree with it. Mixtape is a recent example I can think of, which, yeah, I think is fair enough, right? None of these games deserve to be taken down, whether it's like some, terrible game, like, if it's like Concord, right? Even if that was still around, I don't think people should be going to, Mastercard or whatever, telling them to take it down, or if it's a game like Stellar Blade, right? None of these games deserve to be taken down through it. I think the only thing that should really be taken into account is whether people enjoy it and whether people like it, and that's the thing, right? And people seem to like it. People seem to like Stellar Blade, well, they like the first one, and of course, they're more likely going to like the second one as well, right? But Paranation saying good, but still more people are doing it. They have not any better things to do, which, yeah, I can 100% guess that there probably are other people actually doing it outside of this troll account, right? Or maybe even the person behind the troll account is doing it too. Saying the usual suspects, which, yeah, saying didn't Trump pass an executive order forcing those payment companies to shut the hell up and just process the order, which I'm pretty sure that did happen, but of course they can target things, I'm pretty sure, outside of the US. Obviously, Shift Up is outside, but saying how he thinks Trump can enforce those payment processes, which again, yeah, I think it is one of those things where it's kind of hard to enforce it just in the US, right? But yeah, obviously they continue on. So if people are still seriously mentally ill these days, it's a freaking game. How are people this fed in the head? So yeah, I see some people, not happy at all. Some people even suggesting the idea of doing this, which is, yeah, it's ridiculous, right? It's stupid. And of course, this is the only thing that they have to, kind of have an argument, right? Like, that's the only thing they can do. They lose in terms of, like, if they try to make some post saying, like, actually, I think Stellar Blade's character looks bad, right? They just get laughed out of the room. So the only thing they do is, like, the most nuclear option, which is go report it to the, Visa and Mastercard, and they, take things down, which obviously sucks because, nothing should be taken down like that, right? It shouldn't be censored. It's so dumb. But again, more people have been reporting it, like Chibi here, saying important breaking news, users on reset error are now reporting Stellar Blade to payment processors like Visa and Mastercard. Remember, this is exactly what Collective Shout did last year with Steam and itch.io. They're now trying to get the game deplatformed and censored. So yeah, I said I have links in the actual thread in my most recent post. You literally put this up the second after I did. This is thank you for your contribution. Like, imagine being so gay, not like a woman, which, yeah, I mean, is true, right? Saying, and if they end up censoring and deplatforming Stellar Blade because of this, obviously, yeah, it says payment processors pressured Steam / itch.io to censor games with non-illegal sexual content, damaging the entire adult video game industry. This is not just censorship, it's the commercial discrimination and abuse of dominant market power position. So yeah, they say tips for the cool, don't start with a complaint, treat the worker well, be calm and friendly. Obviously, yeah, they had like a whole thing where people called up Visa and Mastercard and essentially tried to, tell people to have like a friendly chat with them and be like, hey, can we get our games back, please? Because this is pretty ridiculous, right? So yeah, obviously, that's what people would do if it did ever get to that point. I don't think it will. Hopefully it won't. But obviously it did get to that point at one point, and people were, going after that, right? Then the curse of the breaking news, saying these people literally don't want us to have anything, so they report things. We like to payment processes in the hopes of getting it censored and removed. You don't hate these people enough. And yeah, it's kind of gotten to this point where, there's so many people out there who just don't respect that other people like, certain things, right? There is, I feel like so many people online at the moment are very, you like that thing, well, I don't like that thing, so you're not allowed to like that thing. That's kind of like the whole mindset that I see quite a lot on the internet right now, especially whenever it comes to gaming, right? There's so many people out there who will do anything to take down a game, anything to, hinder people's enjoyment of the game or whatever, just because they don't like the game personally, right? They could just move on. They could just, go play a different game that they prefer to play, right? No one's forcing you to play Stellar Blade. No one's forcing you to enjoy Eevee as a character. No one's forcing you to do anything. But, you kind of go that extra step to kind of like, talk to payment processors and things. Like, that's just whenever it gets weird. Like, you're just an unhinged freak at that point, because what's the point, right? You could just move on with your day, do something else, but for some reason these people decide to, take things one step further, which of course, has angered many people, and it will continue to anger people the more that they do it. So yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is for the situation. I just kind of want to keep you guys up to date because, yeah, it seems like they are being targeted. Now, of course, as you said, it is a troll account, so hopefully that means nothing has actually really happened. And again, it usually takes quite a lot of reports. It doesn't take, like one guy reporting it isn't really going to change anything usually. So yeah, obviously that doesn't really matter, but, I don't think there should be any issues anyways, right? Shift Up could just find some alternative around it anyways, but again, let's just hope it doesn't happen, and let's just continue to kind of protect this kind of stuff. And also, if anything was to happen, remember to make those calls and whatever into Visa and Mastercard and tell them that, you know, this is just, you know, completely blown out of proportion. But yeah, I mean, that's about all I got for the situation. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.